Then later on, I'll be like, switching cake reaction clips. Let's go. Okay. Okay. The second class I can't even read properly. The main street was wide. Main Street was wide with sun bleached cars and pick up parks at an angle both curved but only a few blocks long. Flanked on both sides with low flat roof buildings made with aldo or brick. A single street light flat with red along Main Street was a grocery store, a drugstore, a Ford dealership, a roundhouse bus station, two big casinos, the Hour Club and the Nevada Hotel. The building would seem pretty under. We moved into a wooden on the edge of town. That once had been a railroad depot. It was 2 stories tall, painted, written in so close to the railroad that you could see the engine from the window. Our new home was the oldest building in town. Mom proudly told us with a real fortunate quality to it. Mom and Dad slept on this. I already read that part. I read this. I'm right here. I don't even know what I read. Dad got a job as an electrician in Bright Mine. He left early and came home early. And in the afternoon, we all played games. Dad taught us cards. He tried to show us how to be steely-eyed poker players, but I wasn't good. Dad said, You can read my face like a traffic light. Every thought I wasn't much buffer. I'd sometimes win because I sometimes win a wait, sometimes win a hand because I was always getting excited about even multiple cards, like a pair of fives, which made Brian and Lloyd think that I'd been dealing aces. Dad also invented games for us to play, like Ego Game and Ego Game, in which he played two statements of facts and we had to answer a question based on or else say infrastructure in information to draw a conclusion to explain why. Dad wasn't there. When Dad wasn't there, we invented our own games. We didn't have many toys, but you didn't need toys in a place like Battle Mountain. We had got a piece of cardboard and go tumble going down the depot's nearest staircase. We jump off the roof of the depot using an blanket, blanket as our patching and letting our legs buckle under us when we hit the ground like Dad had taught us real patience knew. We put pieces of scrap metal and pennies if we were feeling extravagant on the railroad tracks right before the train came. After the train had roared by the massive wheel chugging, we'd run to get our nearest flattered, hot and skinny pieces of metal. The thing we liked to do most was go explore in the desert. We'd get up at dawn. We get up at dawn. My favorite time when the sundown were long and purple. You still had a whole day ahead of you. Sometimes Dad went with us, and we'd march through the sage bushes sagebrush military style, with Dad calling out orders in a sing-song channel. Hot 2, 3, 4, and then we'd stop, do the bush, and put new push-ups, or Dad would hold out his arm and do pull-ups on it mostly. Brian and I went exploring by ourselves. The desert was filled with all sorts of amazing treasures. We had moved to Battleground because of the gold in the area, but the desert also had tons of other mineral depots. There was silver and copper and uranium and bits, which Dad said oil drilling rigs used. Mom and Dad could tell what kind of minerals, and ore were in the ground from the color of the rock and soil, and they taught us to look for iron. And iron was red in rock. Iron was in the red rocks. Copper was in the green rocks. There was so much tourism nugget, and even big chunks of it laying on the ground floor that Brian and I could fill our pockets with them until weight practically pulled our pants down. You could find elbow, you can find arrowheads and fossils in old battles that had turned deep purple from laying under the boiling sun for years. Wait. This is really oh. On Sunday night, if Dad had money, we'd go to Owl Club for dinner. The Owl Club was world famous according to the sign, where the hoot owl wearing chef had pointed the way to the entrance. Off the side was a room with rows of slot machines that were constantly clanking and ticking and flashing lights. Mom said that players were hypnotized. Dad said they were damn fools. Never play the slots. Dad told us they're for suckers who rely on luck. Dad knew all the statistics, and he explained how the casino stacked the odds against the slot players. When Dad gambled, he preferred poker and pool games of skill, not chance. Whoever coined the phrase "a man got to play the hand that dealt with him" was most certain one piss poor Buffalo, Dad said. Okay. Hey, he held my pressure here was a positionally eventually effort compared to you manage crypto. Dad would yell back. They'd all throw their hands back and laugh and slap another between the shoulder. We sat at one of the red booths, such a good manner, the waitress would explain. Because Mom and Dad made us say sir and ma'am, and yes please and thank you. They demanded smart. They demanded smart too. Mom would declare the finest damn kids ever walked the planet, and we'd smile and order hamburgers or chili dogs and milkshakes and big plates of onion rings that gaslighted with hot grease. The waitress brought the food to the table and poured the milkshake from the sweating material container to our glasses. There was always some left over, so we kept the container on the table for us to finish. Looks like you hit the jackpot and got some extra, she said with a wink. We'd always left the Owl Club so stuffed and would hardly walk. Let's waddle home, his dad said. Mom didn't like cooking much. We spent the afternoon making a meal that will be gone in an hour. She asked us when in some amounts of time I can do a painting that will last forever. So, a week or so, she'd fix a big cast iron mat of something like fish or and rice, or usually beans. We'd all sorts through the beans together, picking out the rocks, and then Mom would soak them overnight and boil them the next day with an old ham bone to give them flavor for the entire week. We'd have beans, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If the beans stayed going bad, we'd have to put extra spice in them, like Mexicans at LGB apartment always did. We brought so much food that we never had much money come payday. One payday, Dad owned a mine company 11 cents. He thought it was funny and told them to put it on his tab. Dad always never went out drinking at night like he used to. He stayed home with us. After dinner, the whole family stretched out and benches and the floor of the depot and read with a dictionary in the middle of the room so we kids could look up words words we didn't know. Sometimes I discussed the definition with Dad, and if we didn't agree with what the dictionary writer said, we sat down and wrote a letter to the publisher. They'd they'd write back defending their position, which would prompt an 11 an even longer letter from Dad. And if they replied again, so he'd until they stopped hearing from the dictionary people. Mom read everything Charles Dick, William Fenn, Henry Miller peeled back. She even read James Mentor athletically, saying she knew it was great literature, but she wouldn't help herself. Dad preferred science and math books, biographies, and history. We kids read whatever Mom and Dad brought home from our weekly trips to the library. Oh, oh. Okay, come on, let me do reactor clips. Swear to God, this is the easiest thing I can do to the reactor clip. Hold on a second. This is gonna be fun. I don't get up, no noise. Maybe lock and read, then about something and 2:30 why not? Mom and Dad enrolled us in Mary S. Black Elementary School, a long, low building with an asphalt playground that turned goony in the hot sun. My second grade class was filled with children of miners and gamblers, scammer need and dust from playing in the desert. Even with uneven home scissor bangs, our teacher Miss Payne was a small pinched woman with given to a sudden rage and savage thresh with her ruler. Mom and Dad had already taught me nearly everything Miss Page was teaching the class. Since I wanted the other kids to like me, I didn't raise my hand all the time. The way I had in Lether. Dad accused me of costing. Sometimes he made me do my assignment homework in the binary number because he said I needed to be challenged. Before class, I have to recopy it into into al into how do you say al almeric onto Arabic numbers, but one day I didn't have time, so I turned in the assignment in its binary version. What is this? Miss Page asked. She pressed her lips as a joke, and she studied the circle line and said, covered my paper, then looked seriously. Is it a joke? I explained to her about the binary number and how they were the system and that computers used, and how Dad said they were far superior to other number systems. Miss Page stared at me. It wasn't that assignment, she said incredibly. She made me stay late and redo the homework. I didn't tell Dad because I knew he'd come to school to debate Miss Page about the virtual of um of the various metric system. Lots of other kids in our neighborhood, which was known as Tariq, and other schools, we played together. We played red light, green light, tag, football, red rover, or nameless games that involved running hard, keeping up with the pack, and not crying you if you fell down. All the families who lived around the track were tight on cash. Some were tighter than others, but all of us kids were scrawny and sunburned and wore faded shorts and ragged shirts, shirts and sneakers with holes or no shoes at all. Lori and Brian and I, even McQueen, could go pretty much anywhere. Ponella anamene no nina nina man. Honey, your inventor might move a little faster if you drop some pieces, he said. Then I explained that all my rocks were incredibly valuable and I'd rather keep all of them, sell them for less than they were worth. Oh. Dad gave Dad gave me his cooked smile. Sound like you have thought this through pretty well, he said. He told me he'd put his heart set on buying a particular piece of those voice cords, but didn't have $600 I was charging, so I cut the price to $500 and let him have it on credit. Brian and I love to go through the dump. We looked for treasure among the discarded stove and refrigerator, the broken furniture and stack of bald tires. We chased after the desert rats that lived in the wrecked car, or caught tadpoles and frogs in the scum tapped pond. Mizkar circled overhead, and the air was filled with dragonflies the size of birds. There were no trees to speak of in Battle Mountain, but one cover of the dump had piles of railroad tires and rotten numbers that were great for climbing and carving your initials on. We'd call it the woods. Toxic and hazardous wastes were stored in another corner of the dump, where the dump, where where you could find old batteries, oil drums, paint cans, and bottles of skulls and crossbones. Brian and I decided some of this stuff would make for a neat scientific experiment, so we filled up a couple of boxes with different bottles and jars and took them to an abandoned shed we named our laboratory. At first, we mixed things together, hoping they would explode, but nothing happened. So I decided we should conduct an experiment to see if any of the stuff was flammable. The next day, after school, we came back to the laboratory with boxes of Dad's matches. We unscrewed the lid of some of the jars and dropped in matches, but still nothing happened. So we mixed up a batch of what Brian called nuclear fuel, pouring 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 different liquids into cans. We tossed in the match. A cone of flame shot up with a whoosh like jet after burn. Brian, I yelled to Brian. I want to read. Oh. He said, "You got all, y'all got a little none of our kids allowances. When we wanted money, we'd walk along the roadside picking up beer cans and bottles that redeemed for 2 cents each. But I also collected scrap metals that we sold to the drug dealers for a penny a pound, 3 cents a pound of paper for copper, We redeemed them. There were so many rows and rows of delicious candies to choose from. Now we spent an hour trying to decide how to spend the $10 We each made. We picked a piece of candy, and then as we got in the place for it, changed our mind and picked another piece. Until a man who owned the store got mad and told us stop fingering all the candy and make a person to get out. Brian's favorite was giant tear candy. When he licked until his tongue was so raw it bled. I loved chocolate, but it was too quickly. I usually get a sugar daddy, which tasted practically half the day. That's exactly half the day. It always had a funny poem printed in pink letters on the stick, like to keep your. On our way back from the candy store, Brian and I liked to spy on the Green Lantern, a dark green house with a sagging porch right near the highway. Mom said it was a cat house, but I never saw any cats. I never saw any cat there. Only women wearing bathing suits or short dresses who sat or lay out on the porch, waving at the cars that drove by. There were Christmas lights over the door all year round. Mom said that how could you tell if there was a cat house? Cars would stop in front and men would get out and duck inside. I couldn't figure out what went on at the Green Lantern. Hmm. Uh, I did not know you, maybe I did not even. Gonna irritate. even though none and maybe only I'm with you. Even though even though even though maybe maybe I'm in my writing, then I'm in my writing. Maybe. Even though none and none, I can die with you. I know the reading. Hey. Hey. We got action packed react. Sabi nga, Diamond eh. Hannah! Yeah. Mm-mm. Writing, writing, the allocation, writing, and writing. Ink. Yeah, mommy, baby, move. Oh, 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 oh. Mm, 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 mm. Ini kan nona, ini ya nona, ini kan nona, men, ini kan nona. Yes, what here? Only two. I'm gonna open the fight. I'm gonna go. You're not looking at the last one. You're on the last paragraph. I'm gonna say losing people in and depression. Not bad. I'm not bad on timing. HESA. 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 Got it. Oh, oh, oh. I'm tired. I don't know most clips. I don't even know how many clips probably. I'm tired. ATE. 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 HES. AMI. AMI. Juanela, nana, men, no, no, Nina, Nina, man, nana, Nina, no, and then Ture. Naua N Ature. Ature. Let me do it tomorrow. Entertain them then. Here. Here. Everything that I'm gonna be done. 18 months later and 20 months later. I'm back in there. No. Mm. He is getting more stable. He's getting he's getting I got like four. I don't know. They improved their performance. They were like on kick again. They were from the second kick. So they are right now. They're becoming the biggest superstar and streamer. And they're the biggest streamer and singer at the same time. They're doing double the amount, double. They're doing double the they're getting double the amount of fans. Streaming man and they are both industries at the same time. Nah, and then those things that happen. Like no. I don't respect this. I don't respect. I don't respect this. I've never seen these things are living and all the kind of things and stuff. But I respect him taking on the way he's taking on both industries. Ah, nah.
Is this a Minecraft amusement park? No way. No way. Hey, gee, why are you so scared?
Arad.
I guess just fucking
No, I don't need. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'll put that one tomorrow. Put that one tomorrow. No, no, ma. Here. No. Amazing sound. No, wait, wait, wait. All the way down here. Heal me. Heal me. Yeah, I'm just helping it out. Pop. Popsicles. What can I feel? He. I have dubbing content coming. I told you. Hello?
Okay, you want to come out?
I'm gonna stream what I'm in. He wants me?
You said you're gonna stream?
Yeah.
Boy.
I'm streaming right now in my basement.
Wait, watch you stream like us play football. No.
I'm too tired to go outside.
You're a flop, bro.
I just went biking.
Huh? Oh, Vikings. Right now? Like, not like that, like 2 hours ago, bro. Why didn't you tell me? I mean, like,
I don't know. He didn't tell you. I don't know. We didn't know.
like, you know, they're not gonna let us do that. They're not gonna. You can't go to that little tree by yourself. So you can't go outside.
No, but I can say hi to Christopher Rito, the king, the goat, the aura farming man.
Go to the balcony then.
I'm gonna go to the balcony and say hi on my back.
Alright.
Oh, dang, the clips, that's good. And yeah! Saben cái tình nhau nên là ngắm nào mà ngắm lấy ngắm mà nào mẹ nó nên ngắm nó mà nó mẹ mẹ mà nó ngắm ara mẹ nó nina mẹ nó nên ngắm nó mà ni mà nó ngắm nó mẹ nó collapse. Climb is a Niger? What? I never knew that. Oh, yeah, climb, man, dealer. Just climb, Nicola Mog. Oh, no. $240 more? Hey, 240 more. 240 more. Moon Knight, Mom, I don't know how to. Helicopter. Marangamar. That's an old trend. Helicopter. Marangamar. No. Helicopter.